Because
And then I have another question.
Islam, that's good. Just
It's a good conversation.
yeah. If you got questions, bring
I
them.
hear a lot of
Bring them up.
I have
Bring them
these
up.
4 kids, and these kids are in this society. Basically, they're pushed into the education system, and I can do things for myself, and I can do things for them as a parent. But what are their rights as minors?
Yeah, that comes from you.
So
And
every-
then what do
you're-
I need to do? Like, do I send back like their birth certificates and mine?
Right. So and again, it comes back to when we get into this information, right? Most of the time, we get into this information based on us being attacked or something like that, or us being under some type of pressure because of societal issues that we deal with, right? But if we would get into this information when we're chilling doing nothing, right? And be studying then, it's like one of the morals said, we would be chilling, having dinner, we want to talk about the ball game and stuff that has nothing to do with anything. But then as soon as CRA sends us a letter that we owe 80 million, now we want to get on this information and we're trying to do some crash course to try to figure this out, when it doesn't work like that. Like it doesn't. You need to know first, and this is why we do the classes or whatever, so people could know first, and then go. Because guarantee you, if you go out there and you try something with those people, they're not playing. Like they will kidnap your ass and they'll come after you. They'll come after you harder than you're going at them.
So you have to know
But if you don't know, that's how people get caught up. Like for example, there's a big thing going on right now with people going and claiming these foreclosed properties and all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay, like if you're gonna go do that, you have to know what you're doing. You're not just gonna go, well, because you heard something.
Oh, I know, you gotta plan.
You know what I mean?
A, B, C,
You're just gonna go kick a door in and take it over and put a sign up and say, yeah, well, this is mine now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It doesn't work like that. And again, Noble Drew Ali came 1913, right? We had all these black leaders that came after him that went away from the plan that he brought to save us. You know what I mean? Like he brought a certain structure in order to save us. But we didn't want to follow that. We wanted to follow NOI and UNIA and all these other organizations that were actually selling us into slavery.
I know I was starting, I started to inquire about the treaty that the Moroccan Emperor.
Yeah, the peace treaty, yeah.
The 1780.
Yeah.
83, but I want to get the full, because I never really took a good look at it.
Yeah. A good piece of reference for that is the letters, the numerous amounts of letters that George Washington sent to the president of Morocco, or to the emperor of Morocco, before he was even president.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, like there, and there's letters. Like it's not like one letter. There's letters upon letters upon letters that he sent to the emperor of Morocco, talking about, sorry for not paying the taxes and all that type of stuff. Yeah, really. Right? But comes back to the thing about, where are we at with getting the information. If certain people did what they're supposed to do, because we wouldn't be in this situation right now. You know what I mean?
There's a Moorish lady though that talks too about
Come on, please.
she has like part 1 to like 10, and she was talking about everything, like even going to like the zodiac and everything, and she really breaks it down. But she was talking about the language of silence, right? That she didn't really get into.
Yeah.
And she said that, when you go into your temple or whatever, like, inquire about it, but she's not willing to just put it out there for the whole world.
Yeah, so, and like something like that, right? The language of silence, like
What's her name? Sorry.
Queen Valara Bay.
Yeah, Bay. B-E-Y, yeah.
When you're talking about the language of silence, right?
Yeah. Sorry,
She's
Valara Bay?
Valhara, Valhaarra or something like that. Valhaarra, something around those lines, right? Now, her position, right? Yeah, she's good in the sense of, she put some information out there, but did it ever register in your mind how come she only has 2 videos or 3 videos? How come she doesn't have 80 videos out there putting this information out?
Well, I don't know. I know she was explaining that she is not willing to just she said basically what she's saying is do your due diligence. Like, don't just take what I'm telling you.
Right.
I can give you the base, and then from there go on for yourself. But she also said that her information, that basic, is for everyone to know, like us, right?
Yeah.
So she goes as far as the Moors go. She goes, there's information she's not willing to put out there because it doesn't apply to everybody. It applies to us.
Right.
She doesn't
Right.
want, you know what I mean? She doesn't
Right.
want.
But it's just like she's saying, if you do your due diligence, anybody gonna find it. Some Europeans could study the Moors. Matter of fact, Europeans did study the Moors.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a European by the name of Peter Lamprin. No, Peter. What was his name again? Anyway, he's a European, and he proclaimed his nationality, and he calls himself Hakim Bey, right? And he founded an organization called the Moorish Orthodox Church.
That's the white guy that
Talks about Noble Drew Ali and all that.
and Moors and everything.
Yeah,
He has
yeah.
a radio show or something.
But I don't know if he does still, but
I think he was
right?
talking, he's white though.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
stuff
straight-
really of the Moors and
Yeah.
like a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Because he did his due diligence on what Noble Drew Ali brought. You know what I mean?
Somewhere.
The name of his book is Sacred Drift.
Secret?
Drift.
There's nothing in here.
And that's a book that he wrote on Noble Drew Ali and what Noble Drew Ali brought in order to save the people and all that. The European, right? Because it's when you start studying the law and all that stuff, that's where it's going to lead you to. It's going to lead you to Noble Drew Ali. Like point blank, bottom line, that's where you're going to get to. You know what I mean?
What does this say?
Right? So he's like actually assistant.
Robert Bernard was a lawyer, wasn't he, too?
I don't really know his full
He was a lawyer and something else.
I don't know his full stats or whatever, but one thing is that free man on the land isn't a status.
Okay.
That's just
So that's why
that's just something that
everybody's so saying the free man out there, because
They don't have a status.
It's not a
so
status.
It's not a status.
Next thing
They
to
can't
have
say it.
no status then.
right,
okay.
right,
Because they have
You
to
know-
naturalize over here.
and then
And that's
right,
happening.
right, and when you look at even like the information that he's putting out the same information that Taj puts out. That all these other Moors that's been putting this information out 10, 15, 20 years and nobody listened to them. As soon as this European comes now, he's talking about it. Now everybody wants to listen to, you know what I mean? Which,
Occulty Science Radio.
Okay, I know
Off
that
the top,
one.
whatever.
Right.
Yeah, I know that one.
which basically defeats
The whole purpose.
the whole purpose. Because if you're going to put Robert Bernard before the prophet, then you lose. You know what I mean? You lose, because he might not mention the prophet, but he's going to talk about we need to make a new constitution and all this type of stuff, and you know what I mean? Like,
Still bring out all the old concepts. He's even gonna deal with it.
Did I tell you you're here to learn? Sit
right?
down and do that.
All the old concepts, he's not trying to deal with all the old stuff.
Right. For example, right? The Europeans who study, right? International Common Law Court of Justice, a lawful judicial body constituted under common law and the law of nations. International Citizens Arrest Warrant. In the matter of crimes against humanity and child trafficking, a warrant for his immediate arrest for questioning and trial is hereby issued to and against Jorge Mario Bergoglio, aka Pope Francis I, regarding his complicity in crimes against humanity and child trafficking as a culpable individual and as a head officer of a convicted criminal organization known as the Vatican. This warrant is issued on the 15th day of March in the year 2013. It is valid for a period not exceeding 1 year and is effective until March 15, 2014. 2. The common law peace officers and other agents of this court, and to all citizens of Italy, Argentina, and other countries, you are hereby authorized and instructed to arrest Jorge Mario Bergoglio, aka Pope Francis I. You will disregard any claims of immunity or privilege by him or his agents. You will bring Jorge Mario Bergoglio forthwith to the nearest public reclamation facility to stand trial for crimes against humanity and child trafficking as a culpable individual and as the responsible head officer of a convicted criminal organization known as the Vatican, certified by G. Dufford, clerk of the court, entered and registered Friday, March 15, 2013. International Common Law Court of Justice.
So there.
These are some Europeans that founded an organization in 2010, right? Claiming to have, this common law authority
That
to.
was on 2010?
No, this is new. This is like,
Yeah.
this is recent, like 2 days ago,
Yeah, because it's 2000, okay.
right? But the organization was founded in 2010, right? By some Europeans who, no different than the Europeans of the 13 colonies that got fed up with getting their ass kicked by the king and the queen of England, said, okay, you know what, we don't want to deal with this anymore, we're out of here, and we're going to go form our own quote-unquote society somewhere else. And then they came here and set up the 13 colonies. But then nobody's going to talk about the fact that it was the Moors that actually gave them permission to come here. Right? Nobody's going to talk about that part.
So why wouldn't they talk
How
about
do we,
that?
like?
Because then that proves that Europe isn't here. And those people that we call white man, free man on the land or whatever, they don't have any jurisdiction over here to talk about anything, say anything, do anything with regard to government. Because this is the Moroccan Empire. And,
So how do we, get ahead in the process? Because what I'm seeing from where I'm standing and stuff, a lot of Moors, a lot of us sit down and talk and bring the issues forward, but there's no forwardness, you know what I mean?
Okay, because-
there's forwardness individually, when we go outside and then something happens.
Yeah.
But collectively, there's not that much forwardness to
Yeah,
advance and
but then again, right? But then again, put that statement that you made, the question that you asked, right? Look around you, and then ask the question again.
I know, there's not enough of us. So how do what can
Right.
we do here to this? And I was asking brother, I forgot his name the other day too.
Adiza?
Basically, that's the problem, that we don't have enough people. So how can we target more of our own people and just inform them?
For me personally, I would say,
That's one thing we have to do is get that knowledge out there to our people so that we can get together and get,
Yeah,
move forward.
we got 400 videos on YouTube.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
That's
like-
huge. I mean, that's not
You know,
with 400 people, if 400 people were to get together and then proclaim and then put a standard, and somebody's gonna have to hear us. But
Well,
that doesn't
okay.
happen.
Really what it is, because majority of people are punks, they're cowards, right? They talk a lot of shit, go kill cracker and all that type of stuff, but they're not doing nothing about brothers getting beat up by police, right? They're not doing anything when, CAS kidnaps somebody's child. They talk a lot of game.
That's what I'm saying.
They talk like they're gonna do something, but they're not game to do anything. But
A lot of it is ignorance, like you said, but a lot of us need to be more proactive. So that's even going to court and finding a brother staying up there with no help, no nothing, then somebody needs to go and let them know what's going on, like,
I
come
would
here.
say, I would say right now, what you can do is, what all of us can do is set our own examples, and people will follow. Because a lot of people are under asleep, because there's a big hypnosis going on.
Yeah, that's a mess.
But
Sure.
all you can really do is just revolutionize your family, yourself, and you'll connect with others doing
When they
on
see
that same
you,
Yeah,
vibration.
Or
yeah.
ask questions.
That's the only reason why, you know, you're here.
Because
Because we're vibrating on a certain frequency, and you picked up on the frequency, you're here.
There's a lot of
Hello.
You know?
us right now that are home not even doing nothing.
True.
They're just watching a ball game, whatever.
Yeah.
True.
And they could be here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
But a lot of the problem is that our people also are ignorant, and they make sure to keep us ignorant.
No, we keep ourselves ignorant.
Right.
But we can't
But
point.
There's help from there too. You
I don't know, because like I'm saying, you know, we got, you know, the books upon books stacked up, DVDs
But that's
stacked up.
here. The
You know what I
majority of
mean?
people don't know that this is here for us.
Oh,
That's the problem.
trust me.
A lot of people do know too.
Ever since,
No, they know.
ever since,
know.
let's say,
A lot knows.
let's say mid 90s, right? Me personally, like I've been in the community doing this work,
Right.
right? Getting information to the people, right? There's people who I know personally, where, you know they're not picking up when I call, because we're not talking that black, Negro, African bullshit. We're talking about proclaiming your nationality, you're a Moor. Oh, well, you know, I don't want to be saying I'm a Moor because I don't want to wear that funny hat, and I don't want to say that I'm into Islam because, you know, I'm not Muslim, and nobody never said you can't be Christian and say that you're a Moor. Nobody said you can't be atheist and say that you're a Moor. Nobody can say that you have to wear a funny hat. You don't have to wear anything. All you have to do is study, but, you know, it comes back again. If you want to hide anything from a nigger, put it in a book. That was a spell that they put on our people. Majority of our people would make the claim, well, you know, I don't like to read, I'm a visual learner. Well, letters are visual.
So that spell is hard.
You know what I mean?
Is it
Like,
legal? Okay, if you go to court downtown and I was to have like a business card or whatever, like say you were a lawyer and you work for the court, law, whatever, would you be entitled or able legally to go in there and then give your business card to people just waiting in the hallway?
yeah, I mean, a lawyer or us?
Both.
I mean, yeah, lawyers could do that. Lawyers do that all the time.
So we can too.
You can, but again, it's like, you know, we don't have to go to court to do that. We can go stand on Young Street and give out flyers.
I'm saying because we can go to court, where a lot of our black people are, and give them information about here so that they know their rights. I can do it.
Well, yeah, that's,
They see us though.
we do that. There's brothers go to court all the time. Go with flyers.
See, but no.
You know what I mean? They engage people. They like, there's, for example, in the past, let's say,
They're not getting.
okay, let me put it like this, right? Let me put it like this. If we go to court, for example, right? And then we're sitting down, and, you know, people are going up, and then one of the Moors has their case, and then they go up. And when the Moor goes up, judge can't do nothing, prosecutor can't do nothing, they're getting mad, yelling, you know what I mean? Nobody's not getting arrested, nobody's getting whatever, all we're doing is standing up on rights. If all those people in there who went up before, right, see that, and stuff doesn't start going on in their head, like, hold on a second, how come they can't move on this guy? How come the judge is running out of the room?
Yeah.
How come when I wore my hat in here, they yelled at me to take my hat off, but then these guys come in here and they could wear their fez in here, they don't have to stand up when judge says stand up, they don't have to, if stuff's not going on in their mind, to come and at least ask question, yo, what is going on? Right? No different than when we met this brother. We met him at court. You know what I mean? Same thing. Just go in there dealing with some tickets. Right? Build a little bit. You know, something went off. Like, hold on a second. What are you guys talking about? I need to get down and I need to come sit down with y'all for a little bit and see what's
Find out
going on.
yeah.
You know what I mean? But
So that's
you
where it
know,
starts with each individual. See, like Cujo said, right? Like you're here for a reason. It's because you're putting it out in the atmosphere, you know? But other people aren't doing that. So everybody's responsible for themselves. Even when you come into the temple, right? And you learn about your nationality, it's up to you to study. You know, I always tell a story of Cujo how, you know, I mean, Cujo started to connect. And I used to call Cujo, I used to be, yo, Cujo, how you do this? And he'd be like, study, right? I'd be like, what?
What?
And I come back from week and be like, okay, you know what, this week is going to answer this question, blah, blah, blah. He'd be like, so what does that mean to you? I'd be like, I don't know. He'd be like, go home and study, you know? So it's just responsibility for your own self, basically. And once you put that out there, you'll learn more and you'll see people will follow. And you'll be able to bring people in, you know? I brought a couple brothers in here too still, so you'll see. So you're on a good vibration right now.
No, I want to get people to know.
yeah, well,
That's
you
my
know,
thing.
You
but
have
I
enough,
get so upset when people just don't know.
like, how long have you been in the temple? Or how long have you been?
This is what, 3 weeks?
About
Right.
3 weeks. So you have a lot of studying and a lot of learning yourself to take care of.
I have been, this is the thing though, that I had been learning, I had been following, for instance, like Valentine's for a long time,
Okay.
or Hammett, or, you know what I mean? I have been, you know, just getting information from just everywhere, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
See, but
One
no-
thing, I'll get information left, right, and center, and I'll just try to,
Process.
Right.
right now, but until you get on what the prophet brought and all that stuff, you don't know nothing.
right,
That's just stimulatory,
If you're saying
You know what I
study
mean?
profit,
right?
Study noble jewelry.
Right?
yeah.
You know, like once you get past, once you get into what Noble Drew Ali brought, that's a whole different avenue. That's a whole different paradigm, right? Even though it's still connected to metaphysics and, you know, the high science and, you know, knowing our history and all that, right? It's relative to that, but this is now coming into the practical application of knowing ourselves, not just because I listen to this person or I study this person or whatever. This is now getting into, okay, so you say that you're God, all right, prove it. Now you don't have to walk on water or nothing like that to prove it, you know. But we have to, like Noble Drew Ali taught, that we have to become what we know. We can't just
Yeah.
know.
and
Knowing is good, you know. I mean, nothing's wrong with knowing, but if you're not becoming what you know,
Doing and studying.
you know what I mean? If you're, it's no different than somebody says, you know, yeah, I wanna be a carpenter. You know, if you're not building stuff with all this information you're learning about how to use a hammer, how to use a square, how to use a T-square, how to use a, you know, a level, if you're not doing anything with that, you just have it in your mind, you're not doing anything. You might as well not be anything. You know, like Todd said that if you shouldn't be you shouldn't be professional without, you can't have a profession without being professional at what you profess. Like you have to be applying what you're saying. And again, it starts with realizing that we are damaged goods, right? You know, we're damaged. What they did to our mind and all that, like we got work to do. We got serious work to do, right? And again, when you look at all these other people on the planet, right, they weren't damaged like that. And if they were damaged like that, they were able to go inside themselves, you know, humble themselves for a little bit, take 15, 20, 30, 40, whatever, how much ever years, get themselves back into who they are, and then go. That's why you can see, you know, Europeans doing this stuff, Robert Bernard and all that, because they know about who they are. They're not blind to who they are. They know who they are. You know, it's not a guesstimate to them. Like you ask majority of people, who are you? They're black, African Canadian, Trinidadian, Jamaican. They give you a list of 50 things that they are, and then never once say that they're Moors, unless you ask them more. If you just ask a regular person, they're gonna tell you that they're everything.
And another thing, sister, what you were saying about how a lot of us are not moving forward. You have a lot of agents and stuff in the movement that is keeping a lot of the information, the right information, from us and stuff like that, you know? So
Agents in what term?
agents in terms where they're not working with the Moors. Like, he looks like a Moor, right? Talks like a Moor, but he ain't a Moor. He's not with us. Like, he's working for
Okay,
us.
so what would be an agent?
Okay, all right.
But let me go to the washroom first.
Sure.
Don't worry, just listen while you're in there. Okay, so for example, King Alfred Plan, there are 12 major minority organizations, and all are familiar to the 22 million. Dossiers have been compiled on the leaders of the organizations and can be studied in Washington. The material contained in many of the dossiers and our threat to reveal that material has considerably held in check the activities of some of the leaders. Leaders who do not have such usable materials in their dossiers have been approached to take government posts, mostly as ambassadors and primarily in African countries. The promise of these positions also has materially contributed to a temporary slowdown of minority activities. However, we do not expect these slowdowns to be of long duration, because there are always new and dissident elements joining these organizations with the potential power to replace the old leaders. All organizations and their leaders are under 24-hour surveillance. So all organizations and all the leaders that make the claim that they're minority and their people are minorities and whatever, they're under 24-hour surveillance. So if brother on the corner is under 24-hour surveillance, nobody doesn't want to be around him. Everybody's going to avoid that guy because the police is watching that guy. Right?
Let me ask you a question. Isn't all of us under 24 hours? Because you don't even do nothing, but you're still being watched.
Right.
As soon as you step outside.
Right.
True.
Right.
True.
Right, but there's being under 24-hour surveillance just because there's cameras everywhere, and then 24-hour surveillance as cameras on you because you're an agent for these people who have the cameras. You know what I mean? Like, they're watching them for a reason. They're not just, watching them because, we're trying to, Big Brother's watching you or whatever. You know what I mean? They're watching them because these people have files on them, and they're watching them to make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to do. You know what I mean? Because majority of and we'll go down the list, majority of the organizations under 24-hour surveillance are the organizations that we all came up in when we got into, consciousness or whatever. Right? So the 12 organizations under 24-hour surveillance: the Black Muslims, Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, Congress of Racial Equality, Uru Movement, Group on Advanced Leadership, Freedom Now Party, United Black Nationalists of America, the New Pan-African Movement, the National Urban League, the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, and the Committee on Racial and Religious Progress. That's every organization that we've ever belonged to, that we ever wanted to belong to, that our parents belong to, grandparents belong to, great-grandparents belong to, Like all these are, and the More Science Temple's on this list too, because they got infiltrated. Matter of fact, that was one of the first organizations that they infiltrated in order to be able to have this plan now together. You know what I mean? But our people still go to those organizations. Like for example, in the lessons, in the Nation of Islam lessons, for example, right? In the Nation of Islam lessons, they talk about, you can't reform the devil, and you shouldn't let the devil come in. But now, they're on Scientology now, which is founded by a European, and nobody's now putting pieces together that these guys are agents. They're just, oh nah, we're everything's cool. No, everything's not cool. You guys infiltrated. You know what I mean? But is it that the people don't want to accept that reality, or is it that these guys are actually finesse masters, and when they're standing at the front and there's people in the, we'll call it congregation, right? They're running some serious rituals and brainwashing all those people with the way that they speak, the way that they orate. Majority of the people that are sitting in those seats there don't get the opportunity like what you have. Ask questions, make a comment, or whatever. They just sit there mute. When man's up, they do it. They're mute. Can't say nothing, can't do nothing, can't put up your hand and ask a question, nothing. You just have to accept what this guy says. And that's what El-Hajj was trying to break the people out of. That's what Malcolm was trying to break the people out of, when he would tell people this is not no clapping thing. What are you clapping about? We're under serious oppression right now. You're clapping because I said something but that's what I was saying before, that our people are stimulatory. Things that they're told, things that they listen to from these same leaders who are all agents, right? Agents from the top down, agents on a federal level, agents on a provincial level, agents on a municipal level, even local. They're going to listen to them, and they'll sit there and, Bible says, Jesus had hair like wool and skin like burnt brass. That's in the book that people have on their lap. They're singing hymns and listening to this guy talk every Sunday or Saturday or whatever day it is that they go. But there's a big picture behind him of a European. You're not going to question that? And if you don't question that, you must be under some serious brainwash. You must be on some severe brainwash. If the book that you have at your house that you say, people on the bus reading the Bible and all that stuff, then they have a cross around their neck. What do you, something has to not add up in your mind. And if you can't put, if you can't do like this and touch your fingers and you keep missing, you have serious problems. And that's where we're at. That's where we've been at. And then that's why Noble Drew Ali came, to get us out of the mental slavery that we had. And he said that in 1913. But majority of people profit off of our ignorance. Majority of people, 99% of the people out there who say that they're for us are actually profiting off of our ignorance. And the 1%, they think that those guys are crazy, so they wear funny hats, so we're not even going to pay those guys any attention. But they're going to go listen to this liar every Sunday, every Saturday, every time there's class or whatever. They're listening to that. And they're not doing their own diligence, or they would know that they're being gamed. No different than the 3-card lolly. If you don't know that that's a game, or even if we use like pyramid scheme, right? Everybody knows. Okay, well, if I bring you in, I mean, that bring you in, you pay 50, you bring 3 people, you know, and then you're gonna get whatever. But yeah, but I'm getting a cut off everything you get. You know what I mean? Everything you get, I get a cut. So if you bring 5 people, I have now 5 people from you that I'm getting a cut of your cut. Because those 5 people that you bring in, all their stuff's supposed to be going to you only. You know, that's why there's a pyramid scheme. That's why the Illuminati uses a symbol as a pyramid. That's a scheme. They're gaming people. But if people aren't doing their own due diligence, their own research, their own studying, you know, doing their own homework. If you have somebody else doing their homework for them, obviously you're gonna get to that stage where there's somebody not there doing your homework for you. Then what are you gonna do? You know, when you have nobody to call on, don't come do my homework. You're done for. You're getting 0. Period. You know what I mean? We could play the cheat game as long as the game could go on, but as soon as you get called on it, you're done. You know? And Drew Ali's main point for us in order to be free and have rights and whatever is to enforce the Constitution. Because the Constitution is what governs those people who we claim are the government. That's not our stuff, that's their stuff. That they're actually supposed to be abiding by it. And as soon as they don't abide by it, we have a right to get them out the way and put somebody else up there. And then that's the same protocol for, you know, all these organizations. Like you tell me that you know that these guys have so much power, right? Black organizations, African organizations, whatever. They have so much power, and none of them once ever made the request to release all these people who they're kidnapping and putting in prison for no reason. Like nobody made, like, shouldn't that be one of the focal points? Close down the jails and let us reform our own people, opposed to you.
They won't do that. They just want to overload the jail.
Right? You know, like there's people in Don jail right now, in jail because they kicked a dog or something. They kill a raccoon or something like that. And they're doing like a 30 days, right? But then you know, police kill some guy, and then we go SIU, and SIU does investigation, and then these guys get off with pay. But then, you know, the infiltrated organizations, you know, who talk all that, you know, kill crackers and whatever, they're not gonna go do nothing about it. They're just gonna, you know, they're just gonna, you know, get the people marching and picketing, holding signs, getting splinters, wood in your hand and all that, getting fire hose and getting beat up, and police just abusing you when you're standing up for rights. You know, but why? But how are they able to abuse them? Not because they're wrong or because, you know, they're racist or whatever. Because those people who are picketing, marching, they don't have a nationality.
So I was just gonna say.
So you're pretty much, you know, you're going in the fight with no weapon, no face guard, mouth guard, nothing. And then when man beats you up, bloody you up, now you wanna. You know what I mean, right? Putting the cart before the horse.
So that would be an example of an agent, like not showing you that you should nationalize, or not showing you stuff like that, like putting you as an outlaw, keeping you as an outlaw outside of law, right? When you should be nationalized, knowing your nationality. Basically, agents are there, they work there to keep you from that knowledge and from vibrating on that level too. So
right?
Yeah,
So
and I
like,
was in Montreal just last week, and then there was some, what appears to be Moors in the subway station handing out, the news for the week or whatever, but it had something to do with Black History Month too.
Mm-hmm.
So I walked up to one of them because he's trying to hand me the paper, and I said, "Are you Moors?" And the man fully looked at me and said, "No." And I said, "Then I can't help you cause them."
Straight up.
yeah,
And I walked away.
yeah.
He goes, "Islam," and I go,
No, not even. Not even.
Right? But watch, like, because you're not down, right? How come he didn't tell you Islam when he was giving you the thing?
"Yeah, yeah."
Or it's the agent. That should be the first thing he said. Islam give you the thing. But when he realized that you're not falling for the game, now he's gonna say Islam to try to rope you back
I walked
in,
away and I go,
to
"Judah."
rope you back into
And I
the
said,
fraud.
"You
say what?
Judas."
Yeah.
I call him Judah.
Yeah, but that's really what they are.
Straight.
You know what I mean?
And
That's
the
really
other
what they
term,
are.
And I have agent that was Judah.
Bunch of Judases that people are following.
Conscious agents and unconscious agents. The
Yeah.
Yeah,
unconscious
I
agents
think,
don't
yeah,
even know
because
that
I
they're
guess at one
agents.
point we were all one, I guess with you not knowing unless you were born with the knowledge.
Yeah, we're all there.
We're all there.
Yeah.
But it comes to that time when
Well, when you know, you gotta,
like
gotta snap out of it.
you got to snap out of it, and it's not and it's not rocket science either.
Mhm.
It's not some deep information that you need to go study 500-600 hours to. It's real simple. It's real simple. We're not Negro, black, colored, or Ethiopian, because those names were given to slaves by slaveholders. If we go speak to grandmother, great aunt, or whatever, they'll tell you, yeah, the name that you have, you got it from slave master. Okay, so then, obviously, knowing that, you should try to take some steps to correct that. Knowing that we're not black, it's like I did a session with some young people last week Thursday, right? Did a session with them, and the whole same thing, you guys aren't black, you're Moors or whatever. What do you mean? No, we're black or whatever, blah blah blah. Okay, well, black means pale. What do you mean black means pale? Oh yeah, here's a dictionary.
Mm-hmm.
Look it up.
Black means what, sorry?
Pale.
Pale?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right? Here's a dictionary. Wow. So you mean, okay, so then if black means pale, then like
Just leave
you just seeing the wheels just
Yeah,
turning. You turning. You know what I mean? One girl said, "Yo, you make like my head's hurting me right now." And we didn't even get into any information. All we're talking about, you're not black, that's it.
simplicity.
And she was like, yo, where you're going right now with this is,
I don't even want to go there.
I don't want to go there, but I'm going to go there because, I'm open to whatever,
Yeah.
And then that's why Juali said, I came for the young and unborn.
Yeah.
And he said that, our people are some hard-headed, stiff-necked people that only learn at the point of a sword. Like that's, and that sword is that letter from CRA, you owe 80 million. Now they want to come to class and they want to get some 1-hour crash course in how to deal with this, and then now you're fumbling, you're bumbling, you're over here, you're over there, you're going back and forth at the same time, when if you were coming here 5 years ago when I gave you the flyer the first time, instead of making up reasons and excuses why you can't, you could have at least took the flyer, read it, looked up some words or whatever, and bring yourself on slowly.
Your own self.
You know what I mean? Yeah. You know what I
The
mean?
problem with us people, we don't want to research.
Right.
A lot of us.
We want everything on, silver platter,
Yeah.
handed to you, right? But still, and even that, the hand that gives controls, right? The hand that gives controls.
Yep.
So if you just got your hand out to get stuff, to guarantee you're gonna get gamed eventually.
Yeah.
This is why, this is why we have so much information out there. We put out all these classes and stuff like that, because there's people out there who are getting gamed. There's people out there who they're paying thousands for a nationality package. They're paying thousands of dollars for some papers like stacked like this, because somebody said that, if you got these papers and these are free, and they're going with it. You know what I mean? The highest that we got so far is 3,500. But a man linked us like, yo, I had the 3,500 like in my pocket, about to go like this, and I saw your video, and I held back and said, let me call you and see, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? And like broke it down that they were, he was just, just somebody like yourself, just innocent, looking for information, and man said, you proclaim your nationality. No, we send you this paperwork. We send you this, blah, blah. We send it, they spice it up, make it sound real good or whatever, and then they got the price tag on it. You know what I mean? And the thing was like 600 up front, and then, another 600 when they send something, and then the balance at the end of 3,500 for some papers that, the biggest nationality package that I saw was maybe 40 pages, right? 10 cents a page to print, front and back, so 20 cents a page, right? Is what the price should really be of that. And there's people telling 3,500. And then that's how come Sister Valara doesn't have no classes out there and stuff anymore. Because she was having people basically say that she's a queen. So they need to give her 10% of their check. But that's the angle she was going on with the Moorish information. Why she could make the statement, well, we're not going to put this out for everybody because everybody's not going to get this. Yeah, because they were selling packages. Information's good. They'll rope you in with some info. Like, guarantee you, anybody who's seen that Black's Law class or whatever, right? Yeah. Anybody who saw that, stuff was going off in their mind, and they were game on the info. They were like, yeah, man, what she's dropping, like, yo, I never heard nothing like that before. Yo, I'm game to get on this. I need to get some more stuff from her, blah, blah, blah. Mm. Eventually, you would have got to that line where now it's, are you going to cross that line, or are you going to say, hold on a second, let me just process a little bit of this. You know what I mean? And that's even something that our people don't do. They don't think about something first. They will do something, and then after, they get abused or whatever, then they're gonna think, oh man, maybe I shouldn't have did that, or, you know what I'm saying? I shouldn't have went there. Why did I go to the club? If I didn't go to the club, I wouldn't have got shot and all this type of stuff. When, Grandma told you before you left the house, was the devil calling you outside? Where are you going? Storming outside. Nah, well, boy's birthday, and then you go crash your car up. And then get mad when somebody says, I told you so. Because we want fast track. You can't fast track with freedom. Like, fast track with freedom is going to get you enslaved. It's like with, for 9 months I was around here. I had my own plates and all that, driving around.
Yeah?
Or traveling, yeah.
You made your plate.
Yeah, like had my own plates, right? And all that, right? And because, I got lax with the freedom, they got me. The wrong guys stopped me, and took the plates off, whatever, gave me the stack of tickets and all that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? But then, certain things played out, like how many people have no license, no insurance, no this, no that, but get their car towed to their house. You know, how many people have know this, know that, know that, know that, but then go to court and then they throw out all the tickets. You know.
So are you still driving without the license, or it brought you too much?
Yeah, it just brought me too much heat. You know, because you know the one person out there, just like you're saying, if there's 10,000 of us with our own plates and all that,
Fine.
let's go. Let's go.
Yeah.
There's one individual doing that. That person's gonna be a target.
Yep.
And it only takes a little time until you bump into that one jerky boy who having a bad day or whatever, and you know what I mean, he's about getting his quota. And he's getting his quota. And nobody's not gonna stop him from getting his quota. You know what I mean? So it's like it's Islam, fam, Islam, right? You know what I mean? You know, so like we were talking about individuals on the information, right? Like Brother Shifter, he's on the information intuitively. You have to read books and study and all that stuff. Like he's already vibrating on that frequency and whatever. You know, Brother Tallahassee, he's another one. He's just vibrating on the frequency. You know, he has a license. He doesn't even pull it out when he gets pulled over.
No, yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm waiting to get pulled over now. Yeah,
Like he doesn't even pull it out. He tells them straight, I know you guys are running a fraud. I know you guys are running a fraud. I know you guys don't have any jurisdiction and no authority. If you're gonna give me a ticket, use the plates, get the name. Or use the VIN number, get the name. But I'm not giving you no license. And majority of times they just say, you know what, we don't even want to deal with this guy.
No,
Forget it.
they're
They just go about their business.
anyways to carry
You know what I mean?
ID.
Right?
They do.
Right. You know, but again, right, what it's, you know, like, just like you said, we don't have an obligation, they do, but then we never push that button. We always, you don't see the gun end there, and then we get caught up in what we shouldn't be caught up in. You know, when we should be pressuring them about just call your name too, Islam, right? That's how the frequency thing goes with the Moors, and when you get on this information, you know, right? And it's not like we Islam family. It's not like it's like I was saying, it's not rocket science. It's nothing advanced, especially if you're somebody who, you know how to read, you know how to write, you've been to school, you at least finished high school or whatever. This is supposed to be elementary. You're supposed to hear certain things and, you know, think about certain things and then jump on this immediately. Just because we know that we all know a brother, a sister that's been through the system, right? We've been at their trial, sitting there like, damn, how am I just raping these people like this? Damn, how come you have a lawyer and you still have to do 2 years or whatever? And you didn't even do nothing. You know what I mean? Like, and we have to be of the mentality to know that the game's up. That's why they have all this fear mongering going on right now. Because their time's over. They're done. The only thing that is keeping them alive is our faith in their fraud. That's the only thing keeping them around. Like and not even our faith, our blind faith in what they say is, you know, what it is. You know what I mean? So, like, for example, right? A brother who we know, right? Last week, 2 weeks ago or something, he was going through some books at his house, found this book, right? Found this book that his aunt gave him. Right? Sitting at the house, had the book for like 10 years, sitting at the house, never ever once read the book. Right? And triggered something in his mind because he started watching our classes or whatever, and then he got this book, the Russia and Negro, and the whole book is talking about, you know, Rasim Abikov, a native of Abkhazia, where his family had lived for generations in the time since his 1913 photograph, and then it's a sister, a picture of her brother with a Russian name. Like not an African name or, like a Russian name, right? Abzi Abdul Ogli, a Negro of Abkhazia, whose features show the racial mixture that occurred over the centuries or whatever, right? Brothers.
That's just like that movie there with the Django. That
Right.
came out, with the girl that has
Exactly.
a German name.
Right.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right? But, we're not paying attention to that. We're paying attention to all these Europeans saying nigger in the movie. We're mad at that. When they're telling you that there's dark-skinned people who are the rulers of, Germany.
Yeah.
In a movie. You know what I mean? That went all across the world. But Spike Lee not talking about that part. They're mad because Europeans get to say that. How come Europeans saying the N-word so much? Why are they,
She even said it. She was educated. You want to speak German, I think, even?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
You know?
right? General Abraham Hannibal, raised as a favorite servant of Peter the Great. He was a great-great-grandfather of writer Alexander Pushkin. And Alexander Pushkin is this famous Russian writer. Great-great-grandfather was a brother. And then Alexander Pushkin, he looks like a regular Russian today or whatever. And it goes on and on and on and on and on. Just talking about our impact and our involvement in the history of Russia and Russia being what it is.
The area they're from, is it around like Kazakhstan?
I have a map in here somewhere. I don't know if it is.
It's like the lower region of Russia, right?
Yeah, like Lower Russia. Let's pass this around. But like they have the map in there, and then they show like all the places on the continent that's close to these places. You know what I mean? Right? So it's a thing where, and the book's gonna say Negroes of Russia, right? When it's really say Moors of Russia or whatever, right? But it says Negro of Russia because in the academia world, there's a big conspiracy against the Moors in the academia world, where I was talking with this sister on the bus just Friday, talking around the bus. She goes to fashion school, right? So she's in a big thing right now because she's creating so much stuff, more than everybody else in the class, right? That, everybody's kind of mad, but they're saying, since she has the most stuff, then we should just let the show be hers because they're working on this fashion show or whatever, right? And nobody can produce as much stuff as she's producing. Like she's making like jackets, skirts, she's just, right, tapping into her ancestral, right, powers. You know what I mean? So she's explaining to me that she was talking with the teacher, and she's telling the teacher in the class, right, during the class session, she's telling the teacher, well, the Moors were the ones that blah blah, and the Moors did this, and the Moors blah blah, the Moors did this, the Moors did that, and the teacher's like, I don't want to hear nothing from you. Yeah, but the Moors blah blah blah, and so they did this test, and then she got like 6 or something out of 12 or something like that, right? Teacher gave her 6 because she was talking about the Moors in class and didn't shut up when the teacher told her to shut up. And after the class, the teacher was breaking down to her about, if I talk about the Moors in class, they'll take away all my credentials and I would lose my teaching degree. So I can't talk about the Moors, and I don't want you talking about the Moors in class. After class, come talk to me about anything that you want about the Moors, no problem. This is like in fashion school right now. Right? Like right now.
We created their fashion.
Right? The European teacher. And then and her thing is like, she's always in class just like, holy, like, yeah, she knows me as Prime. Prime's been right all these years or whatever. Like, it's actually a real thing. Like, it's not, you know what I mean? Like, that hit home to her. Because, because she could design some stuff, she's, she took people's, like, old North Face jackets and whatever, tore them apart, made a new jacket. Better than the jacket that people had. You know what I mean? Like, that's how on it she is. You know what I'm saying? And it was a light bulb for her. You know what I mean? For the teacher to actually tell her, you know what? You don't talk about that stuff ever again in class. Like, I don't want to hear it. Just because. You know what I mean? I'm going to lose all my stuff if you talk about that. Because I'm going to have to talk to you about it, and the word's going to get back that I'm talking about this in class. Guaranteed. Somebody's going to talk about it. Not everybody in class is a student. Some people in class are agents to make sure that I'm doing my job.
Yeah.
You got 5,000 people in a classroom or whatever. Not everybody in there is a student. Some of those people are deans of other colleges, and you know what I mean, like the whatever the teacher security people are to make sure that this teacher is dumbing down the population.
Doing their job.
You know, and make sure they're doing their job of not putting everything out there. You know what I mean? Right? And again, it's a thing where everybody knows and everybody's trying to tell us, but we don't want to accept certain realities, right? Yeah.
So we're gonna start class. We're supposed to open up a certain
Oh yeah, we could. We're all right. Just because we're dealing with we kind of started with the question there. But most definitely, we will close out with that. Yeah. Right. So why we are in the situation that we are, right? So King Alfred plan. They have a table of strategies, and then this is from Behold a Pale Horse. William Cooper, they murdered him for this book because of all this stuff that he has in the book, right? Then a quick background. Bill Cooper, former United States Naval Intelligence Briefing Team member, reveals information that remains hidden from the public eye. This information has been kept in top secret government files since the 1940s. His audiences hear the truth unfold as he writes about the assassination of John F. Kennedy, the war on drugs, the secret government, and UFOs. Bill is a lucid, rational, and powerful speaker whose intent is to inform and to empower his audience. Standing room only is normal. His presentation and information transcend partisan affiliations as he clearly addresses issues in a way that has a striking impact on listeners of all backgrounds and interests. He has spoken to many groups throughout the United States and has appeared regularly on many radio talk shows and television. In 1988, Bill decided to talk due to events when taking place worldwide, events which he had seen plans for back in the early 70s. Since Bill has been talking, he has currently predicted the lowering of the Iron Curtain, the fall of the Berlin Wall, and the invasion of Panama. All Bill's predictions were on the record well before the events occurred. Bill is not a psychic. His information comes from top secret documents that he read while with the intelligence briefing team and from over 17 years of thorough research.
What is the book called again?
Behold a Pale Horse.
What?
Behold a Pale Horse. right? Table of strategies. Do this to get this. Keep the public ignorant for less public organization. Maintain access to control points for feedback. Required reaction to outputs. Create preoccupation, lowers defenses. Attack the family unit, controls the education of the young. Give less cash and more credit and doles, have more self-indulgent and more data. Attack the privacy of the church, destroy faith in this sort of government. Minimize the tax protests, maximize economic data, and minimum enforcement problems. Stabilize the consent, simplicity coefficients. Establish boundary conditions, problem, simplicity, solutions of differential and difference equations. Collapse of currency, destroy the faith of the American people in each other. Consent, the primary victory. A silent weapons system operates upon data obtained from a docile public by legal but not always lawful force. Much information is made available to silent weapons system programmers through the Internal Revenue Service, or we say Inquisition Revenue Service. This information consists of the enforced delivery of well-organized data contained in federal and state tax forms collected, assembled, and submitted by slave labor provided by taxpayers and employers. Furthermore, the number of such forms submitted to the Inquisition Revenue Service is a useful indicator of public consent, an important factor in strategic decision-making. Other data sources are given in the short list of outputs. Consent coefficients, numerical feedback indicating victory status. Psychological basis, when the government is able to collect tax and seize private property without just compensation, it is an indication that the public is ripe for surrender and is consenting to enslavement and legal encroachment. A good and easily quantified indicator of harvest time is the number of public citizens who pay income tax despite an obvious lack of reciprocal or honest service from the government. Right? So by us consenting is what allows them to move, them to have power. If we don't consent, they have no power. So for example, like we're talking about with the court situation, right? The first issue is status. So if we go in there and we don't challenge them on their status and we don't present our status, right, then they're gonna move.
Adjudicate.
They're gonna adjudicate, right? And the process is status, jurisdiction, then adjudication. So you can't, somebody can't just say, so-and-so, are you here? Yeah, I'm here. And then start talking about, yeah, you have a bill, a fine for, or you got a ticket for whatever. Everybody has to put their status on the record. Prosecutor has to say, okay, yeah, my name is so-and-so and so. Here's my authority papers, ID, whatever. Say, yep, I'm Judge so-and-so. Here's my authority papers, ID, whatever. I'm the stenographer. My name is so-and-so. Here's my ID, whatever. Then you put yourself on the record. Yep, my name is so-and-so. And now we can begin. And we're not even beginning yet because they still have to prove that they have jurisdiction to hear this matter. Right? The majority of times, our people just let things happen without raising an objection, without saying that they don't understand.
You don't have to get up and go.
Say that again?
You don't have to get up and go. I mean, they're calling your legal name.
Right. Well, you have a lawful name.
It's a lawful name?
No, you have a lawful name. They're calling your legal name, but you have a lawful name. But if you don't let them know that you have a lawful name, then they're gonna assume.
Moore's name.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right?
So you present that before you.
Right. Before you even,
Everything starts.
as soon as you get the ticket, you present that in paper form to the court, so they know to expect this individual that has a lawful name.
Your affidavit.
So that's your, it's an affidavit, right?
Right.
So you have to do that with your noticing them, basically.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, but you're noticing yourself. You're not really, you're putting them on notice, but you're noticing yourself. You're noticing that I am who I am, right? And I'm making a special appearance because you're trying to tag this name that's not mine on me.
If I might add a thing, in your legal name you'll have a last name, but in your lawful you will have a family name. So you see now, having a family name and having a last name, that's two different
thing, yeah.
than you
Right.
don't have in our family.
Right? And the family name is also connected to title of nobility. So if you're a noble, then who's this guy up here, right, trying to, run a game on you? Because if you're a noble, then you're supposed to have the knowledge to know what's going on and what, you know what I mean? Right? No, and that's a little out there, right? But this is where it comes into, you have class and you come to the temple and, we learn, you ask questions, you get answers, you know what I mean? If you got a letter from somebody, you bring it, we talk about it and we show you how to deal with that. And you go about your business. Because it's not really even supposed to be anything that you deal with really. You know what I mean? Your body is supposed to deal with that. Just like somebody's gonna go give their lawyer 50 G's, to go deal with that. They don't even have to go to court. They don't even have to be in court. Lawyer's gonna say, oh yeah, I'm here for so and so, blah 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 blah. Here's this thing. Okay, well, whatever, and then that's done. And that mainly happens with international people, right? Like when we got like let's say another Asiatic from East Asia, right? His defense is, I don't speak English.
Yeah, I don't understand.
That's his defense, and he gets off. I don't want to speak English. Okay, well, do you need a translator? Yeah, a translator. So he didn't speak English. The translator. That's all he knows. I need translator. Okay, no problem. Come back in 2 weeks or whatever with your translator, and that's that. But let us go up there and try that. They already know that we're the minority, right? We've consented to being minority because.
But because we're Moors, right? Can't we bring that issue of not understanding, not standing under, but not understanding what they're saying?
Yeah,
Because it's their legal language.
matter of fact,
We
anybody
Moors may
could
have
bring that
different
up.
language.
Anybody could bring up that argument.
Saying they're a minor.
Yeah,
The what?
that you're saying that you're a minor.
A minor.
But then you kind of trap yourself because,
You can't say that, then you're saying that you're less.
well,
A minor.
minor is status, not numbers in the legal jargon. Minor is not less. Minor is status. So if you're a minor, from a legal perspective, you're basically saying that you're a child. And are they really gonna adjudicate on a child? They're gonna charge child to prison?
That's why they can't convict a child.
Right? That's why you say you don't understand, because a minor. That's what you're saying if you say you don't understand. But if you say you don't understand, you're also saying that you're incompetent.
That's right.
So, which is why it's better to probably know than not know.
Yes.
Because if you not know, they can, still run you through the ringer.
Not knowing doesn't leave you with an excuse.
Right. Because ignorance is no excuse.
And they're saying that to us, that you don't know your home, and we're gonna tell you what to do in your home.
Right.
When nobody can really tell you what to do in your home.
Hmm.
And this is your home.
And then and all those things are mind frames. All those things are mentalities. Like if you know that you're home, right? Then who are you? Who are you? Like I'm home. I'm more. This is my land. Whatever. Who are you? Come back to status again.
Yeah, who are you?
Yeah.
Like who are you?
Tell me what to do.
You know what I mean? Like who are you? You're in my house. You're telling me what to do in my house, just because you have a black robe and a sash or whatever. Like no.
Who let you in the door?
Yeah. Like how do you get in here?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You must have you must have something to put on the table to let me know that you have authority to be here.
But most won't though.
They can't.
And,
So how do we?
ignorance is no excuse.
That's
But
the
these are the
reason
things,
why you
these are the things that,
So then why do we even bother to ask them to dismiss?
because we're supposed to demand that they dismiss. Because if you ask, obviously
Then
you're
they
not
will
home.
Tell you dismissal, whatever, denied.
Hmm?
They'll tell you that your claim for dismissal is denied.
Well,
When
yeah
they
and
don't
no.
have-
Yeah
They
and
don't
no.
have anything to
Yeah and no.
make it have any authority on you.
Because
Shouldn't be.
I know more personally that they don't even get to the court. When they get to the door, prosecutors running out to tell them, okay, everything's dismissed, you can just go home, don't worry about it. And that's it. Like it's done, over, expunged, void.
Sometimes they give you windows when you're in court. Like sometimes they'll blatantly tell you that they don't have the jurisdiction. Be like, where's your jurisdiction? Where are you deriving your jurisdiction from? We don't have jurisdiction. And there's your window.
Okay, so
Just like
there you go, okay,
that's like the
well,
system.
fine.
That's what like,
Right.
Yeah.
we was talking about.
The
They give
secret.
out plain paper.
Right.
And I was like a window.
Sign
I'm signing it's not.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think it's like skills we all have.
Actually, this
We all
is
have.
for these children. not
Yeah.
us. We're done, like,
23 months later, you see my plan for you 3 minutes.
It ain't. It ain't for us.
23 months later,
You know?
allows you to identify this man.
Right. It's for them.
Actually, the girls, it's not more boy. Boys, they will wake up there and teach you, but
I'm not
in the
done
beginning,
yet.
usually it's
Straight.
They capacity is different.
I'm not done.
That's why you find in school, we can't do our ABC. But ask the little girl, she'll tell you all our ABC. I had a problem too. With my older sister, I have to get her every day because when we sit in the living room, she can do her ABC. I can't. And that was a problem because she's just 1 year older than me. How is it that I cannot retain my ABC?
Mhm.
But later in the future, boys pick up. Girls, as soon as they come to puberty, something else goes in their mind. They start forgetting about things. But usually when we're young, boys all they want to do is play around. But the girls will listen. Look where she has up here.
And nothing's not wrong with that. That's
No,
just
but he's like that.
you know,
He's like that too. and I'm just
females
like,
are just
All
more.
the boys.
Yeah.
So
No, but
don't.
this one knows so much. Like he's at the top of his class. They want to skip him a year and all
Yeah.
this. And I'm debating myself because he knows
Yeah.
above and beyond what the normal.
He's in tune with his feminine side.
You know what?
He's in tune with his feminine side.
Absolutely, you're right. To have that balance, it's a beauty,
Yeah.
which we don't. I had it. That's this is who I am.
Yeah, he could talk. He could talk or he could talk. You know what I mean? You know.
But the way
You're
she's
even shy
thinking,
hearing about
the way you're
it.
thinking, you're probably saying, don't say
Girls,
that shit. Don't put that on my son.
Yeah, you know.
Give him a
No,
chance.
I'm thinking I was trying to girls, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Actually, I came up with a theory why woman
What mother wants to hear that?
would have
Yeah.
baby boys.
Oh, no, put that on him.
Yeah, you know.
I prefer baby girls.
Yeah, me too.
And that'll show you the
Develop
balance.
in 3 ways, yeah.
I'm
When
just
you have
into all
boys,
females.
it's like your more of your muscular side is more alive. So you're producing more boys. I'm not saying it's not. We're just crafting the body. It doesn't really.
Yeah, you know.
That's true. Go out with my daughter, not do this, this guy's home.
Right? But you know, and all those things are like when we get to you know, like understanding the powers, you know, like all that Phil Valentine, Bobby Hemmett stuff, all that stuff there, right? All that is not really gonna have any impact if one, you don't look internal,
Yeah, that's what I
or
was
two,
saying.
if you don't have nationality.
True.
You know, Phil Valentine, he's L. So, you know, he's in tune with the forces, right? And Hammett, he's internal. He's strictly internal, right? Bringing the God energy out, invoking the ancestors and all that stuff. That's internalization, right? That's why he can talk how he talks, right? You know. So it's a process that we have to, you know, that we go through. It's somewhere that we're trying to get to. But like Brother Shifter says, you know, we live in our body. We don't live in those house apartments or whatever that we have. Like our body is where we live. You know.
Yeah, that's your temple.
Yeah, that's really, you know, and Morris Science Temple is really the body, not the building or the sign outside. You know, and it's, you know, again, it's we've majority of, you know, like we're not the norm. You know, like we're the weirdos amongst our people. You know,
Definitely.
like we're the weird ones. We're the crazy people. Majority of people out there, they think they're sane when they're insane. We're the sane people, right? They're insane. They're the ones that are off balance. You know, this is why things like this were created, to bring them back to knowing who they are for real.
Islam.
Not just, you know, like we joke about, you know, dashiki and shea butter and, you know, crystal deodorant means you know yourself. That don't mean nothing.
Exactly.
If you can't apply what you know, all that shea butter and all that doesn't mean nothing. Vegetarian diet, whatever, it doesn't mean nothing. If you can't apply what you know.
True.
And the most revolutionary thing that you can
Would you
do,
be applying what you know for you to be living that way?
say that again?
You to be choosing that life to be a vegetarian or this, that, the next, you would have to be applying that.
No, you know what? Not necessarily, because I know a lot of people who speak the knowledge but don't live the knowledge. Like there's dudes that'll be like, yeah, nah, you know, you gotta do this, and that. But then when you look at him, he's eating pork. He'll tell you stay pro-black, and then he has a European girlfriend. Like, they're like, well, yeah, deal with Richard. Like, you know what I'm saying? So there's some dudes like really faking the funk out here. Like they have all the eye of Horus on them, they have all tattoos on them, but they don't live. Like when it comes to love, just a reasonable conversation, can't even have it with the dude because he's so arrogant. He's so conceited in his own mind. Like he'll just look at you like you're nothing. So you can put all the good stuff in your body, but if you're not letting out holistic communication, vibration, then you're just a nerd. You know what I mean? You're just whatever.
And that's what being ourselves really is.
True.
When you can be yourself, then that vibration and energy of doing what's right and being ourselves gives the energy of the strength of the power of what's really going on, of these words and laws and policies and everything else that's out here, to put it in proper order, because that's the only time you can be in order, what they try to call harmony. When you connect it, certain things that's happening, because they can't really go against the nature of things.
True.
And it's work. You know what I mean? It's a work in progress. You know, it's not You know, you come here today and then tomorrow, you know, yeah, we know how to beat the beast system and we know how to evade taxes and we know how to, you know, like, it doesn't work like that. Other stuff might work like that. But this right here, this takes like some serious, you know, dedication and, you know, cut your cable off and all that type of stuff and put some focus into yourself. You know, doing some internalizing. Even if you don't cut off your cable.
You say,
You
but
know, like,
you do.
cut. You know what I'm saying? Like, you
the class is
gotta,
empty because
you know?
everyone came to the class thinking you can pay off your tickets, like you can gain more money.
Right. Right.
So the idea of thinking you can come to a class and they forget everything
Yes.
that happened in your life, it's not going to work. You have to do a study, and you can't just do the studies here only.
Yeah.
You gotta do a study even when you're in your bed.
These are degrees he's talking about. not
This
just
is a genetic memory bank that you will always have it. And I was talking to one Muslim individual this morning, and I told him about the name California. I said, what do you know about the name California? He says, oh yeah, it's that beautiful state in the United States. I said, what do you know about the name? He goes, what do you mean, what do you know about the name? I said, well, are you not Muslim? He goes, yes, I'm Muslim. And I'm Sikh. So I said, well, does the name California not sound more of Arabian or more of a Latin? He goes, what do you mean? I said, the name Khalifa or Caliphate, can't you not connect it to California? He goes, what do you mean? So I said the name California comes out of Khalifa, and Fornia is actually a vault where the gold was kept. That's why they call it California. It's the Caliphate's gold, which was in California, the last place that they went. Like Fortnite, it's not just one place.
yeah.
It's 12 places, which is the 12 federal reserve laws.
Yes, yes.
So this, I mean, until you get back to yourself, because all this is trapped inside of you.
True.
That's why she was saying that all these places are energy centers. That's why.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
No.
I don't understand that part, but I just.
Yeah.
And
But see, but that's why you
being a
do.
female, it's actually, you guys have more power than we do as boys. Because since you guys are our mothers,
They got all
and
the
we have
power.
everything we just came out
They're the leaders, right?
They're the creators.
basically, like I'm not saying you're higher than me, but at the same time, in a respect way, since you produced me, everything that I know came out of you.
Yes. Islam.
Because you don't learn nothing when you come out of us. And that's the reason why we can't learn nothing, because everything we see outside is fiction. And what's going to happen now when everything that we know disappears? Like now we're going to a fourth dimension, what's going to happen? Many of us have lost our mind. We can't get to that third stage. Some of us will be put back to the second dimension because we can't cross over. And that's why we need to know about magnetic field, we need to know about electrons, atoms, what connection do we have?
That all falls into the melanin.
There you go.
Right.
6 neutrons, 6 electrons, 6 protons.
So it's
Breaking
Isn't
down.
that serious? Like, I was looking at numbers and everything. I was driving myself crazy with like numerology.
well, that's the key.
He's having a full 666 year this year. This one.
Yeah.
Yeah, like his birthday is the 15th of July, the 6th, and he's in the year 6.
Everything adds up
But
to
he's
6.
July 6th, yeah, he's July 15th, and he was born 2000 July. And that's 7. If you put everything together, that's another 6.
Yeah. Yeah.
And lucky we're not on no Albion signs, because
So he
you
was
would be
telling me,
thinking
right,
he
that's
was
so bad,
some
and
kind of
I'm like,
antichrist or something.
No.
You're in the power year, like you're in
What-
the
what
so
it
really
powerful
is.
year.
What
like-
happens when you add up all the
Poor
6,
fellow.
all the triple 6?
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta go.
When you add up 6 plus 6 is 12, plus 6 is 18.
Yeah.
1 plus 8.
Right,
So what's the highest number you know in math?
it's 9.
So when you turn 9 upside down, what happens?
6.
That's how you get the 6 and the 9. It's all number only.
And then
These are
the-
very powerful.
Yeah, and the 6 and the 9 is the
The yin yang.
yin yang.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's perfect. No.
you know? So it's,
Could you imagine if we had got this
Transition
information
year.
when we were
Yeah.
there, there were those little children there?
yeah,
right?
you know? I mean, and
I was
again
looking
too,
at it as a transition year for him, like either, you know, yeah.
yeah, but it's a constant transition. You know, it's a constant,
Every year.
yeah, it's a constant evolution, constant elevation. You know, it's not, there's, you know, it's like Mufti teaches upstairs. You know, when you get your black belt, that's when you start learning. You're not learning when you go through white belt, yellow belt, orange belt, green belt, or whatever. That's just, you know, kindergarten. When you get the black belt, that's when you start, because now you're fully capable of going out there and connecting with this other guy who's a black belt, that guy who's a black belt, in some other different school, right? And then you extract what you can from them to make yourself a higher degree of black belt. You know? Because there's no, in blackness, there's no up, down, left, right, or whatever. It's just one constant existence. You know? And that's where it is with, you know, with the Moors, and getting to the information, get the black fez, you know, get the red fez, get the whatever, because you're graduated. You got your tassel hat. You're now that you're graduated, now you can go to university if you want. You can go take a trade if you want. You can, you know, do your own studies. You know what I mean? Opposed to going to their school, you could just go get the book on the topic to study yourself and get there. Opposed to paying 50 G's to go let some guy tell you what it is, you know, when he's getting it from the same book that you could just go to the library and buy.
Actually, what they're really saying, here's your diploma, you're an educated slave.
Yeah. Come to us and work for us, and so we can, you know, use your knowledge to benefit ourselves. You know, but I don't see Asians doing that. I don't see Jews doing that. I don't see Hungarians, Russians, or only our people I see doing that. You know, all these other nations out here, they might go to public school, but when weekend time comes, they have their own school that they go to.
Yes, they do, and it's packed.
9 to 9. You know what I mean? Not a little 3-hour session. You know? They go.
No more schools?
Well, it's.
I mean, schools of thought like this, like, you know.
Teaching right knowledge.
You know, like for example, the temple is supposed to have a school.
I'm saying, like, for, like, even for them.
You know?
Oh, like who, like the
For the
different
children.
nationalities?
Yeah.
Oh, the children.
For the children or for? Yeah.
That's a work in progress. But we need, you know, mothers to come to the temple, and then you got free space down here, up there. You have school every day if you want to,
Yeah.
and not have to go to their
Because I
schools.
don't like.
Basically
yeah,
homeschool.
like, I don't like, yeah, yes, yeah.
But then you bring them, then we bring our children. If I had children your guys' age and there's a few more age, and the parents become the teachers.
Yeah.
Because that's the teacher anyways. You know what I mean? The parents are the teachers anyways.
And then you don't have to rush around in traffic and all kinds of stuff because you're already with the family. And there's no family time missing.
Right.
Then you do your own business.
Right.
And you don't have to work for nobody, but we're working for ourselves.
Like that's why, you know, that's why we always push the, you know, Noble Drew Ali, because brother was a mastermind. He knew what he was doing when he did it. We wouldn't be all these.
Sent a million letters to schools for them not to get vaccinated, for them
Yeah.
not to, I mean, they were suspending them last year.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
20 days, and I said, what the hell
So
does
that's-
your ministry have to do with the Ministry of Education? Get out of here.
Yeah, but
And
see
now my
that's
son just got one, because now the dental department wants to come, again, Ministry of whoever, wants to
And it
go
comes
to the
back-
daycare now.
it comes back
Check
to-
his teeth, and I'm like,
Check this. You see what I'm saying? They're really trying to tell you.
and they gave me a sheet, they're not even asking me to
Yeah.
sign, they're just
Yeah.
notifying me that
No,
they will
because
be coming. So I
actually-
said, yes, okay, I took the same notice, and I wrote, you're not checking my son.
Well, actually,
Don't touch him.
they're saying, yes, we can do this, not really your children, we gotta check our pets, make sure they're healthy, because they
Yeah,
really
we're
belong
room
to us.
up, yeah.
They really belong to us from the
Yeah.
birth certificate, right? So
I
this is,
wrote them a notice right back.
no, I'm not saying that you have, I'm just saying
Yeah.
this is their,
their mode of operation.
yeah. And this is what they're saying, hey, they belong to us. We wanna check their teeth, we wanna send the vet in. You know, I'm just showing, you know, and why we go to them, because we think that we still need them to teach us, because we're looking at them on a
Yeah, we
a
need to
higher
make sure
level.
they're growing up, you know,
But
to
we're
be
not-
what we want them to be.
And we're not looking at ourselves as who we really are, being ourselves, and right knowledge corrects wrong behavior, and Moorish knowledge teaches us how to be ourselves. Not who we think we are, who we know we are. Like, really know we are. It doesn't matter where we're from, but we know, when we look in this mirror, why are we looking like this anyways? Forget all the stuff they put in our heads. You see a different entity when you look at it. We're not Albions. And we're looking at, where did this come from? Where did this, what they call melon and all this science stuff, or whatever they want to talk about, where does it really come from? And who are we really? And when they say autochthonous, you know, they can say aboriginal or original, whatever, but autochthonous supersedes all that. Because we're autochthonous beings, and when you talk about these carbon and atoms and all that, that's the universe. So we're off place looking at somebody else to tell us what to do or think or anything, if we can read or can't read.
And it's like they're waiting for us to step up.
Yes.
It's not like you know, we have this idea, oh yeah, you know, Europeans against us and they're holding us back or whatever. Yeah, they're only doing what they do because we're not stepping up.
Yeah, you don't want to know.
If we let them be the ones in charge, they will eliminate everybody.
Yeah.
Just because we don't want to step up.
And that's what they're trying to do. Doesn't matter. Pearl Harbor,
Right.
everybody went into the camps.
No, it's not them. It's us. Because we don't want to be who we're supposed to be. We want to be wards. We want to be, you know, Negroes and blacks and all these things that everybody else is fighting against. Because everybody knows that when the Moors were around, there was universities everywhere. There was, you know, schools and traffic lights, paved streets and all that type of stuff. You know what I mean? They know this.
It was paradise.
Right? It was paradise when the Moors were ruling. You know, they make the you know, they made the statement like the Moors were the best conquerors, right? To imply that we were doing something wrong, you know. But if we're the best at it and nobody was complaining about it, you know, like when you go back to Spain, they'll straight tell you that, you know, Spain fell after they kicked the Moors out. If you guys didn't kick the Moors out of Spain, who knows where we would be right now? Who knows where we would be, right? Yeah, they were enslaving Europeans and all that type of stuff, but, you know, that's not even the issue, right? The issue is that there was thousands of universities everywhere when the Moors were ruling.
Thousands of bathhouses.
Bathhouses, you know, we could go take showers and all this type of stuff. We can, you know, there was air conditioning, you know what I mean?
Real food.
Right? You know, yeah, there was food with flavor. You know what I'm saying? Not just, you know, salt and pepper seasoning and that's it.
Peel
You know what I
orange
mean?
and you be
You
saying,
had
what is this?
turmeric and paprika and, you know what I mean?
Don't even wash the chicken.
What would you do?
Right out the package, boom.
Out the package straight, you know?
You mean
Right?
pass out the feathers.
Right? And again too, like it's not a thing that we're like you know, making fun or whatever. Like, this is what Europeans say. You go study some of these Europeans out there, and yo, the stuff that they talk about our people, when they talk about us from the Moors perspective opposed to every other perspective, yo, you'll be blown away that these are some Europeans.
Yes.
Like, these are Europeans? These are people who they say is KKK and they want to hang people on trees and all that type of stuff? No way, that's not these people. You know? Because they have us so washed. These fam, they have us so washed. They have us so outside of who we are really supposed to be. right? That when the truth gets to us, when we actually receive the truth, we don't even want it.
Yeah.
We don't even want it. We're gonna make every excuse why, we can't say that we're Moors. But we're calling ourselves everything else. Like we're calling ourselves everything. You tell people, yo, nigger means monkey. Nah, that's not whatever, man. That's not really whatever it is.
No,
What do you
man,
mean?
that's my nigga,
Like,
man.
yeah, that's not, you're right. When that's documented fact. Like Darwin will tell you that. Right? They go through slave times comparing us to monkeys. Why are they doing that for? Just because, because they're trying to switch the roles.
Mm-hmm.
Once they get us to be what we're not, then they're going to claim who we are, and they're going to go rule the world as us.
But I have one question. If the monkey story is true, how come there are no monkeys in you?
Right?
Like it doesn't add up.
You know what I mean? Right?
And why do they have hair? Europeans, we don't have no hair. Like,
But they don't actually compare us to the monkey. They compare themselves to the monkey.
It's a metaphor, but we're calling ourselves monkey when we're saying, hey, nigga, what's up? We're really saying, hey, monkey. Hey, fool. Over here. Yeah.
Your head don't have spirals.
Yeah. Straight air. Okay, so fraud. What is it? Fraud is the intentional perversion of truth for the purpose of inducing another, in reliance upon it, to part with some valuable thing belonging to him or to surrender a legal right. Fraud is a false representation of a matter of fact, whether by words or by conduct, by false or misleading allegations, or by concealment of that which should have been disclosed, which deceives and is intended to deceive another, so that he shall act upon it to his legal injury. Right? So us claiming to be things that we're not is fraud, because it's making us give up something of value, which is our nationality birthrights. Right? We give that up to be something that we're not, and then complain about the abuses that we get under this fraud position. Right? Like we were talking about earlier, when they tell you, like they have their little tribunal, and they say, take off your hat or whatever, or stand up when the judge comes in, because he's the guy that you guys are, right? As soon as you stand up, then you admit the fraud, you allow the fraud,
You got authority over me
because
now.
you got authority now.
I
right?
gave up my authority to you.
To
tell
you,
me.
so I can, so you can have some type of power to, give all these people sentences in here that never did anything. Because majority of the cases, especially traffic cases, they can't prove that there's an injured party. But they're gonna make people do time. And there's no injured party.
Or you can try to ruin their life.
Right?
Yeah.
And this is why, like, this is why it's for us to be getting the information out, because if we let some blacks do it, they're just putting people back in slavery again on a different level that the people they're not even aware that they're being put back in slavery. They just think that, like when they say, Nation of Islam. Right? There's no nation of, there's thousands of Islamic nations out there. And none of them call themselves Islam. All of them call themselves a name based on geographical location or whatever. Like, what is the jurisdiction of the Nation of Islam? Like, where's that nation at? Nation of gods and earths. Where's the what landmass is called gods and earths that it's a nation with a flag that's represented by the family of nations that somebody's bound to respect? And then when you ask all those guys, oh yeah, you're Shabazz or whatever, let me see your ID. Or they don't have no ID that says that on it. It means you're running a fraud. If you claim to be something, you at least should be able to go in your pocket, show me ID that says that that's who you are. Especially if you claim that that's a nation, right? And it's not no slight on them. It's correct the position. It's real easy. It's real easy. Instead of putting,
I don't think those brothers have gotten to that level yet. Because I built with the Nation of God. Some of my closest associates are part of this. Like, I grew up going to New York, learning about the nations of God and earth, the whole supreme mathematics, all the sciences. And see, that particular philosophy was designed for the street youth in New York City. So they lacked, certain information, certain knowledge that I think now it's time for them to start developing.
but that's the thing that we were talking about earlier, that when you have agents in charge, you don't have that freedom. They want you to be, the sheep, just, taking just stuff in you all the time, and you're not able to express outwardly.
Stay in the
And
club.
the only thing you can express outwardly is what they put in.
Stay in the club.
You're right. You're totally right. Just to give you some insight about what you're talking about in dealing with, the brothers who are part of that particular orientation. There was a fight last month at DJ Premier concert with some of the brothers who are part of the Nation of God's Earth got into a big scuffle over who brought the philosophy to Toronto first. In a nutshell.
During that?
What's up?
That was during the...
During the DJ Premier and Lord Finesse run.
For real.
And they beat down one cat from Hamilton who, what happened is that they had an event at the Manifesto office the day before. I don't know if you guys got the email. Che from Manifesto gave Warren King a space to do an event.
Yeah.
The event was about teaching the history of the 5% nation. I got the email. I couldn't work, right?
Yeah.
But some of the guys they went there, and there was one particular brother, in his 40s actually, who was one of the brothers who got the insight back in the early 90s. Now, what happened is that a cat named KP and Warren King, Master King Allah, my partner, they were the ones who really brought the knowledge here, right? And what happened is that there was a group of brothers who made a splinter group, you know what I'm saying, kind of like their own social group, and they were studying knowledge too. They lived out, some of them saw a few were in Hamilton, but basically there were two groups, and this is where the confrontation started from, like one group saying they got the knowledge first, one group is like, it's for everybody type of thing. And a cat came to the Manifesto event when he heard about Warren being the host, teach about his history. Came to the event with an attitude. Nothing really popped off at the event, but the next day was the DJ Premier concert. So he came to the DJ Premier concert with his attitude, and apparently he stepped to one of the cats, one of the brothers named Warren Troop, and they started exchanging words, and he punched him in the face. And then all of the Warren Troops people,
Nigger industry.
plantation behavior. Punched him in the face, and then they all stopped, just brushed him and stomped him, beat him down. Right? And the reason why the cats he was with didn't defend it is because they respect Master King.
Right.
My brother, you know what I'm saying? They didn't want to go there type of thing. They ended up having some sort of a reconciliation the following Thursday and squashed it, so to speak. But this is what I'm talking about. Like, this behavior is counter. You feel what I'm saying? You call yourself gods and earth, and this type of, plantation behavior.
Right.
So when I say that this particular philosophy went to the street youth in New York, there's still a lot of social issues that a lot of the street youths are facing in every hood.
Right.
So so this is what it is. So they need to develop. That's the bottom line.
Right.
Can I just
Yeah.
see, this is why it became a club.
Yeah.
They're getting right knowledge. They're getting science.
That's some of the highest. That's some of the highest degrees.
They just took a real leap into supreme mathematics.
Exactly.
I know, right? But the thing is,
all that,
it's all Moorish knowledge. These are degrees, but the thing is, this knowledge and the power with the club, because the club becomes the ego, and become the power, and then they start playing the same games that they came up out of the streets.
Exactly.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And then,
Exactly.
but the so-called, like Brother saying, about the leader guys, wanna keep it as a club, to play that little, what's the word I'm looking for?
Charade.
Pardon?
Charade.
Yeah, charades, but, what's that, for fame,
Okay.
you know,
Right.
more of a fame type of thing, you
Yeah,
know what I mean,
yeah.
popularity, you
Yeah,
know?
showbiz activism.
Yeah, yeah,
Right,
yeah,
right.
and all that, on a different
Right.
level,
Mhm.
but to pull it together. So this is what happens when they get together now, because they want that conflict, just like Crips and Bloods was the design.
Exactly.
You know what I mean, from agents that's kept coming out, throwing up Masonic, Masons, signs and symbols.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
real, like how do these guys know these real signs and symbols if you're not studying them, right? Then you realize it's not coming from the Moors, so it has to be coming from some Masonic temples, right? That's bringing this out there, the guns and the drugs and everything else, to keep us confused
Right.
of who we are. And this science here that's coming out now, Moorish knowledge, puts things in the proper perspective, right? So this stuff can stop. But if we don't do nothing about it, just talk about it, and don't really be ourselves, like we were talking about earlier, not just saying, oh, this is what was brought to us, if we don't know that this is who we really are, and just believe this is who we really are, it gives it no strength and no
No
power
power.
whatsoever,
Yeah.
from your ancestors or whoever,
Yeah.
from the cosmos or
Yeah.
whoever, because we're still pretending, that's what we were talking about
Right,
earlier.
right.
So the thing is, and we don't believe that we're real energy, and we're from this cosmos and everything, nothing's gonna happen.
Yeah.
We're just playing and talking and stuff like that, but it is happening, because these children are here, we're here, and I know it's happening. And this stuff, once it starts happening, it stops all that, what happened with those two fools doing what they did,
Mhm.
because who started this first?
Yeah,
Who
in
brought this here
Toronto.
first?
In
Yeah.
Toronto, that-
Yeah, it's like, who's the first real Moor? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm darker than you. Yeah, no, you
I'm
weren't
first.
real. Yeah. Oh, you thought, you know what I mean?
That's magic, though, for real.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like, it's just crazy. It's like me and my brother or something like that. You got some brothers? Yeah, we just got the same mothers. But you know what I mean? We might look different, but we got the same mothers. But I don't know we're under the assumption of just because somebody might be lighter or darker or whatever, LB will attack you. You know what I mean? Or some slave shit happened back in the slave
Yeah.
days. No, we already had different
Different shades.
complexions.
Yeah.
Then this is where they came from, you know? But we don't see that.
That's
Yeah.
interesting how you, let's bring me to a next comment. So I just driving down the road and
Mhm.
they were doing an interview on skin bleaching
Oh, yeah.
on G98.7.
Really?
Yeah, it was really good. So they had some doctors from Dr. Foster from the States and another doctor from the University of West Indies
Yeah.
giving their insight. It was really
Right,
good. It was
for
really
real.
good. I was surprised.
Yeah.
You know, so I called in actually and got in.
Good,
Yeah,
good.
for real.
It's hard to get in, man.
Yeah, yo. It's hard to get in.
It's hard to get in when you really want to get in.
And I plugged the Dr. Wilson event. So I told them they really want to get to continue this dialogue.
Yeah,
Come to the event on
For
March
real,
3rd.
for real.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah, man. Yeah, yo.
Yeah.
Cause it's
Yeah, the bleaching's good for your skin, you know?
yeah, yo. People, you know, they think they're ugly, so they go bleach themselves and all this foolishness, you know.
Well, mind you, we actually asked them 2 weeks in advance to interview Dr. Wilson, but they were shied away from that.
Yeah.
They didn't want to deal with the.
On G98?
Yeah.
No, that's
They're
not
scared of
like-
that.
The Saturday and the Sunday morning? No, that's like.
This grapevine show on Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We told them from a long time, they know.
Yeah.
But they kind of like said, nah, what to do, you know, the professors from the States or whatever.
Yeah, yo. That's what we're talking about with the agents and
Yeah.
you know certain people, you know, especially somebody like especially somebody like Wilson, where you know she's getting up in age and stuff, so you know she's not gonna be holding back
Nah.
certain stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like she didn't hold back before, but now, you know, you get into the white light and all that. Yo, everything's coming out.
Yeah, what you know, I know who I am. What's going on?
Everything's coming out. Everything's gonna be coming out. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. Everything's gonna be coming out. You know.
Well, she did say they are nervous and scared. That's why they're trying to do everything they possibly can to keep us
Spirits got that.
distracted. The children, whatever they can come up, Wonderland, like what's that movie Oz, Wizard of Oz, right? As long as they can keep us distracted,
Yeah.
that because they're in fear that we're waking up, and they already know because they already know what we don't know. So they know there's a time already that we're going to wake up anyways. They know that.
It's happening. It's happening.
What they will call us in the prophecy, right, or in the scripture, whatever they got more knowledge of us than we have of
Oh,
ourselves.
definitely.
So that's what our problem is, you know.
Straight.
But not our problem, you know. I'm talking about the family.
Yeah. Yeah, we straight.
That big industry can put you in sometimes, right?
Straight up. Straight
My
up.
goodness.
They have a cancer in their womb, so no matter what they produce, if it's not a male getting produced by by a European female, it's not going to work no matter what they say, what they do. They're on a decline right now, so
Nature, yeah.
every daycare you go to, every child is a mix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now, that's why they have cancer in their breast, they have cancer in their womb.
Uterus,
So,
yeah.
so we don't have to, like,
We have to march it.
like, don't worry about nothing.
The scientists. The scientists.
I know.
Emotion.
He said, don't worry about nothing.
Everything's emotional.
Yeah, it really is. It really
Yeah,
is.
yeah, yeah.
It really, really is. I just want to speed it up while I'm
You know what I think? That's exactly what it is, eh?
Yeah.
We're selfish in it when we want to actually experience this.
Yeah.
And we don't want to actually see it through our progeny.
Because it already happened.
Yeah,
Our
we-
family already lived this, what we already know how it's supposed to be.
We want.
And then the future's gonna get it, because we know it's happening.
Yeah.
Man, I
We
just
want,
wanna
we
say,
want.
oh, man, listen, I'm not paying 20, 50,000 to be buried in my own way. I'm going to the airport, here's my, look, just, okay, see you later. My brother just went all through. You know what I mean? How it changed, I just wanna see something like that
Yeah.
on the lot, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's a true
We
story
got all the
that
license plates.
happened to me when I was about 12.
Mhm.
I was having a little argument with some Africans, and I asked them, especially the Somali national, I said, I asked you guys, I said, listen, who was the leader, your mother or your father?
Yeah.
What? So I said, I want to know, somebody has to be. Which one it is? I said, are you insane? Like, how do you even dare to go there? Well, I said, I know my mother was a nigger. And that's the only way I will be getting inheritance. But I said, if your dad was a nigger, I don't know. And you have no inheritance. It's through the woman.
Right.
And you find majority mixed children who their dad is actually a Negro will have problem. And their mother been an Albion.
Yeah.
But when your mother is black and your father is somebody who's lighter skinned, you will have that gene of your mother, so you'll be more of your mom
Right.
than of your dad.
Right.
Yes, yes.
Right.
So they say, they almost wanted to actually to beat me up.
Yeah, I know.
But since I was born from a noble family, they couldn't actually touch me. They just had to look down and say, okay,
Yeah, whatever.
And I continue asking the same thing. Which one is it? Your mother or your father? Somebody has to be.
Yeah.
You're not European. So now
Straight.
they freak out. They say, oh, what are you talking about? It's amazing.
Crazy.
Was there any questions before we?
I never do.
I know you never have
Never.
questions.
Why can't you ask yourself the question? Like, who are you going to ask except yourself? And if somebody's going to give you the answer, then you will always have to ask somebody to give you the answer. So what are you, a child?
Exactly. Go study.
Do your own
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah, yes, yes, yes.
I mean, if God is outside of you, then you're a slave.
Yeah.
God must be in you. If it's an outside entity, I don't want to know him. That's why I refused ever since I was a child that these gods that they're talking about, they were not mine.
Right.
I challenged God himself. I said, buddy. And when I found out in the Holy Quran, they said, when you take one step, he's taking 7 steps. I said, hold on, why is he taking 7? So without me, he can't do nothing.
Yes.
That's when that came to me.
So you realize.
I said, whoa. So I said, now.
Yes, yes,
Right. So we got.
saw that.
Yeah.
Well, see, it's not their fault, because they're not, hey, I'm not gonna blame my mother. If my mother didn't know that she was a Moor and couldn't teach me right knowledge, but tried to do the best she could, you know what I mean? But now, it's like he said, hey, we can think for ourselves. We can you know,
You have to. You are.
find this for ourselves. And the process is speeding up.
It's speeding up,
Really
yo.
is. There's more and more out here right now that are waking up like they're just nervous because they're trying to unplug. What do I do? What's going on? What really is happening? Do I go try to find them? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Responsibility is the key.
Yeah.
Be responsible of
Since
yourself.
we're talking about speeding up, let's finish off with
Okay.
Savior of Humanity. This is in the Moorish literature. In this electrifying age, men are racing into life without complete knowledge of where they are going or what the end will be. When riches seem to be their only pursuit to be obtained at any cost. When selfishness, avarice, greed, and lust dominate their very being.
That's when it becomes a club.
Right, straight. When humanity in general is left at the mercy of those who have no mercy in them. It is truly wonderful and astounding to see one come into this mad human drama for the sole purpose of saving humanity, losing all sight on all those things worldly and yielding absolutely to a cause higher than has ever been attained. This picture is the likeness of Prophet Noble Drew Ali, who is serving humanity, coming as he does with a message for the nations in somewhat the same manner as did Yahshua, Muhammad, Buddha, and Confucius, and other prophets of their day. Only the things of this prophet's day differ from the ills of the days of the past, and yet the remedy of the ills of today is about the same as the remedies for the days past, all turning about the pivot love for humanity. Humanity must be lifted from the unwholesome depths of poverty, misery, and suffering and placed on the solid rock of salvation. There are some who claim to do this, but upon investigation, one finds that they have slouched under the wings of their cross to extract from those who come to them means by which they can have pleasures of this life while they point their followers to the joy after death. While they feed their sheep, they also shear them while eating. At the close of their day, the master will be heard to tell them, "You have your reward, get thee hence." Rare is it that you find a real prophet whose mission is the salvation of the nations. The land is full of false prophets whose mission is to fleece the people. The time was and now is that there should come into the land a prophet in the likeness of his brothers to redeem them from sin and slavery. Truly this prophet is Noble Drew Ali, bringing with him the message of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, which alone can save the nations. Like the coming of Yahshua, he does not come from the elect, nor the rich, nor the mighty in worldly power, but all power is given unto him to do good. This power is from Allah. It will be his works that will make every man and every nation accept the truth that he brings. It will be through his teachings that the nations of the earth will understand the will of the Master. It will be through him that peace on earth and goodwill to all men shall come. It will be through his work that humanity will be brought from the slime of life and placed on the solid rock of salvation. Islam. And quick fast, some do's. Sunday, March 24th, so that's next weekend, we have the Skype lecture with Brother Abdullah El Talib Mozi Bey, the master etymologist, and the lecture is entitled Moorish Culture Unveiled, the Astronomy and Geometry of Masonry and Christianity. So he's gonna, I talked to him, and he's all excited. He's all excited. He's gonna be going in on that. So that's next week.
Next Sunday.
Yeah, next Sunday. And 4 p.m., 4:30 or whatever. All right. And the weekend after that, March 31st. So before we go there, do it in date. The date. The March 30th. Can't forget March 30th. York University, Curtis Lecture Hall 1, beside Vary Hall, legendary Francis Cress Welsing. Doors open at 1 p.m., lecture begins at 5 p.m. Dr. Welsing addresses the questions, what is racism, why does racism exist, and how does racism work? Also, it's a collective economic calling for the people to come and network, build, expand businesses, and service at our first ever cultural business and services entrepreneur expo, and that starts at 1 p.m. So tickets are available, $15 in advance, $20 at the door. You can go to Jumaria's News and Events, so JUMARIASNEWS and events.blogspot.ca, and for information 647-919-0466, and that's Dr. Frances Cress Welsing in Toronto. I don't know if that's what, like third or fourth time she came
I
here.
don't know, I think she was here in 91.
Like, so yeah, it was a while though. She hasn't been here for like a long time, so it's gonna definitely be something to check out. And lastly, the following Sunday, we're gonna be here with Skype lecture with Brother Jabbar Gaines Ill, and that's one of the Moors in Indiana that's been in the news and just always pushing activity from the Moors. That Moors have to take their places out there and make sure that they're seen and heard from all avenues, right? In all avenues, right? And that's also 4 p.m. Right? So with that, also too, we want to make sure that the people know that there's activities going on here all the time. We have the dojo upstairs, right? Martial arts training every day, pretty much 9 to 9. Also, we got, as usual, Sunday classes, and we also have movie nights, documentary nights.
What night is that?
On Saturday nights and Sunday nights.
Saturday what time?
What is it? 6:30 Saturdays. Mainly, it's going to be old movies, opposed to documentaries and stuff like that. Mainly movies and stuff like that. So I think the first movie that we're going to be pushing is The Long Ships.
Isn't the movie a documentary itself?
Yeah, in a sense, yeah.
But that's what the movie is.
Yeah. Especially our movies. Especially our movies. Right? So with that, we close out. Let's close out with the prayer and get our. And don't forget to support your temple. This is your spot. This is not any group or organization or whatever. This is your birthright house. This is your embassy. This is your consulate. So 5 on the left, 2 on the right. And you repeat after me. Allah, the Father of the universe.
Allah, Father of the universe.
Father of love.
Father of love.
Truth. Peace. Freedom. And justice. Allah is our protector.
Allah is our protector.
My guide. And my salvation. By night. And by day. Through His holy prophet. Noble Jew Ali. Islam. Hotep. Peace.
Bro.